Hey, everybody, welcome into the right side of campus for December 20th, Thursday, I should say, December 20th, 2018. I'll be your host today, Donnie Right Side, carrying you through to the next hour. Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties trying to get a hold of the big man on campus, but no problem, right? We'll fly a solo mission if we need to today. We'll throw a lot of NFL talk in if we need to. It's no problem at all. We'll get through this full 1 hour show, getting ready for the holiday season. A lot to go over and talk about. Major League Baseball hot stove, Manny Machado making his way around Major League Baseball, checking out different organizations, seeing what's what, who's going to offer $300+ million. We can get after it and take the job. You got bowl season to talk about. As I said, we got the NFL, college basketball, NBA, NHL. What's not to love about this time of year? The only thing probably not to love is the amount of money you're probably spending on presents for the loved ones, family members, friends, who God knows who we're spending money on right now. And if your wife needs more money from you for the holiday season because she says she's out of money, yeah, we've all been there, done that before. So take care of the ones you love here. Remember back in the day, Christmas was all about getting presents. Now all of a sudden it's all about spending money to buy presents. Just what it is out there. Welcome into the show. We'll get it going in a couple minutes here, maybe stall a little bit to see if Big Man on campus wakes up or his internet checks in or anything like that. But we'll get it going. We'll have some fun with the morning headlines. Funny, too, because Big Man actually picked the morning headlines out. So when you see, like, Rockets, no idea what we're going to talk about with the Houston Rockets. Sacramento Kings, I don't have any idea about the Sacramento Kings. Hey, maybe we'll make some stuff up there as we go along. Like, we'll just see the Rockets and we'll just add some stuff in there that maybe didn't even go on just to make it through the morning headlines. But we'll see if we can make it work. Welcome in here once again. Sportsbookreview.com. If you haven't done so yet, there is a button just below you see me talking right now that said subscribe, because I am subscribed to sportsbookreview.com through YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, hit that button. Every single time we go live on the shows, you'll get the notification sent directly to you, which will allow you to come into the chat box and say hello, good morning, what's up, good play, bad play, what's up with that play. It all goes the same there. Just reach out and touch us, as we like to say. But getting on with the show so far. Yeah, exactly, Scott. Wake up, big man. I mean, where's the guy at this point, Talk Josh Gordon. Yes, just a few moments ago. We will put that in the morning headlines with Josh Gordon. Why don't we start off with right now? Just getting some information back and looking around. Was it any surprise? Is it any surprise? But you know what the biggest surprise is going to be? Let's guess. What's the biggest surprise going to be with Josh Gordon? Let's set some odds for when he's actually going to be back on the football field. Because you know as well as I do, Cleveland Browns for like 5 years. He's not a part of our plans. We're going to cut him. Ooh, there might be a trade we might be able to work out here. So they keep him around. What are we going to cut him for the Patriots now? Why isn't he cut already? Why haven't you cut him already? Because you know what? Probably a trade market for next year. Josh Gordon. We got to get Josh Gordon. We got to get Josh Gordon in here. When is it going to stop with this guy? It's not about talent. It's about reliability. If you just can't show up to work because you can't put the bottle down or put the weed down, enough. And I said, I'm tired of going over Josh Gordon repeatedly here on these shows because it started with the Cleveland Browns when they were, we just want Josh to get ready. We really care about Josh as a human being. No, you don't, Cleveland Browns. You know what you should have done? You should have said, you know what, Josh, you're part of the family. You're still young. We never, ever want you to play football for us again. But you know what we'll do? We'll IR you every year so you draw an NFL paycheck and get a pension for the next 3 to 4 years. That's how much we care about Josh Gordon, as the Cleveland Browns wanted you to believe, right? Hey, Josh, get right. Meanwhile, they're calling him up behind the scenes, burner account. Josh, you better get into camp. Boy, you better get into camp or we're going to cut you. But on the outside, the PR firm going, hey, you know what? We really care about Josh Gordon's feelings right now. Meanwhile, on the back burner. But you better get him into camp, agent. You better get him into camp or we will fine him. Then you go talk to the press again. Now, we checked in with Josh yesterday. Seems like he's doing well. He can take all the time he needs. Meanwhile, on the back end of it, trying to make sure he gets into camp. Yeah, nobody really cares about Josh Gordon's feelings in the NFL whatsoever. They just keep on hanging that carrot in front of him saying, we think he can help us out here at wide receiver. Therefore, we will continually put him in bad situations. IR him. Next year, IR. Patriots, right now, IR him. Just put him on IR and give him a full salary if you really care about the guy. Otherwise, just cut him and let him go to like the Raiders. Let him go to the Cincinnati Bengals next year, and you have the same exact issues. Amazing. I mean, the kid has all-world talent every step of the way, it seems, from when he came out with his, come clean where he's drinking, vodka before games and doing this and that. But it doesn't matter. As long as you can run fast, jump high, and catch a football, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as it's not on film, I should say, right? Because if you get him on film, like if Josh Gordon was on film smoking weed, nobody would touch him. But if he's not on film smoking weed, they're going to give him a shot. If it turns out, a.k.a. Tyreek Hill, whips his baby mama's ass, but it's not on film, that's okay. But if Tyreek Hill whipped his baby mama's ass on film, he wouldn't play another down in the NFL. So, word to the wise. You're smoking weed, doing bad things. As long as nobody films you doing it, you're golden in the NFL. You are fine. You can make up whatever story you want, and they'll believe it. But if you get caught on film doing anything, you will be out of a job in the NFL. Welcome in, folks, to the show. 48 people watching already, a couple minutes in. We'll go through this, and I'll spend a lot. Look, you know me. You know me, folks. I love the NFL. And there are some crazy updates going on in the NFL right now. There is value all over the place if you can read the tea leaves. You get put in bad spots if you're expecting one thing to happen and another thing happens. So we'll get to that. When we talk about, the brutal bowls, I'm sure we all want to talk about that exciting-ass bowl that was last night. Riveting TV, as it's been for every single bowl game so far. Don't worry, we'll get to that. NCAA basketball tonight, there's like 4 or 5 games that the big man was going to talk about. I have no idea about those games. I'm sure we'll be able to make something up and get through those. But the NFL line moves and injury updates are absolutely fascinating. I'm sitting here in my office last night just watching as stuff goes over and over and over. Who's playing? Who's not playing? What's the weather conditions like? How's this guy going to fit in? Are we going to play this guy? The Chargers trio looks like getting healthier as the week goes on. So maybe where you're feeling those Baltimore Ravens early in the week, folks, you're really feeling them, saying, you know what? They're in a good spot. Now, all of a sudden, maybe you get Austin Eckler back. Melvin Gordon looking good in practice. Coach says Melvin's looking good. Keenan Allen with that hip injury. Ooh, don't know if he's going to go. Looking good in practice. Looks like he's going to give it a run. Full go Chargers this week. Does that change your mind a little bit? What if you want to take the Baltimore Ravens? Or you just say, nope, Donnie, nope. Seen him play. We're going to come out there. We're going to run that football. Gus Edwards up the middle. Lamar Jackson moving it around. Lean on that staunch defense and see if we can get after it. If I'm watching this football game, you know what I want out of the Chargers in this game, folks? You know what I want? I want the Chargers to be down 2 touchdowns because then I know they're going to come back and win that football game. I would be a little bit alarmed if the Chargers get off to a good start versus the Ravens because they probably would end up losing the game. They're comfortable as hell. Comfortable as hell, especially being on the road. Give me down 2 scores. Give me down double digits. No problem at all. Number 1, the refs will hook us up because they know they don't like blowouts in the NFL. And number 2, we're good enough to come through that back door. Even without Austin Eckler. Even without Melvin Gordon. Even without Keenan Allen. Even if we're in Arrowhead, we're still coming back to win that football game. That's a fascinating game. And thank goodness that's on Saturday night. Gives us all something to watch. Because those bowl games on Saturday, they ain't jack. They ain't jack. So that'll at least give us some fun stuff in there. Giorgio, Donnie, do you typically not bet on Saturday NFL games? Well, it depends. It depends on that. Because you're still working off a short work week, right? I mean, it's not a full 7 days, Sunday to Sunday. So it's an extra travel day that the Ravens. And look, the Ravens are going cross country. This isn't, we're flying up here from LA to San Francisco or, Seattle down to San Francisco. We'll stay in the same time zone. That's a long flight, and that's a shorter work week for those Baltimore Ravens. And let's also not factor in what happened when the Chargers play, right? Thursday night football game. Extra time to prepare. Players coming back in this one. Carson, California is going to be amazing. But by the way, who's going to have more fans? Anybody want to take a bet out there? Who's going to get more fans in this football game, even though it's in Carson? I think the Baltimore Ravens have more fans in Carson, California than the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, you're on a road game again. But they do have, obviously, the time zone advantage here, the travel advantage here, and also extra time to prepare, which not only is good for your football team, but good to get your football team healthy. I'm fascinated by the Ravens at this point. I really am. Because they're doing stuff on offense which shouldn't lead to victories in the NFL. Quarterbacks throwing for 130 yards usually don't lead to victories in the NFL. But they're doing it, and I love it. It's fun to watch because it's something different than 5 wide spread offense and, RPOs. So I'm really interested in watching that stuff there. Scott says, Donnie, do you make any future Super Bowl wagers before the season? No, I'm terrible. I am absolutely terrible, number one, on prop bets and number two, on futures. Because I'm a read and react type of person when I bet gambling or when I bet sports. I need to see that. That's the reason why I don't bet the first two weeks in the NFL, because I don't know anything about these teams. You say, well, Donnie, it sounds like you know what you're talking about in the NFL. I do know what I'm talking about in the NFL. But for guys that haven't played in 6 to 7 months and they don't play in the preseason, then you just throw them in the 85-degree weather, expecting them to play 90 plays week one. I don't know. I have no idea how that team's going to react. That's how I like to get it. But the same thing like with futures before the season. I was asked to give an opinion on a couple of football teams at IFBC that might have some value as underdogs or maybe hit their season totals. The Miami Dolphins, they hit their season total. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a half of a game away from hitting their season total. So we'll see if any of those teams can work out. But like before the season, no, I'm pretty poor. I'm pretty poor at saying who's going to, because I'm very chalky, just like most of the public would be, because that's all you know of going off of the previous year before. So I'm not that good at that stuff there. Donnie, do you agree that the Green Bay team has packed it in auto fade? You know what? They have auto faded. Green Bay Packers have auto faded on the road. They haven't won a single football game on the road. And here we go again, right? Here we go again. Look, you put the Packers as a favorite on the road. They haven't won a road game just yet. They put their best running back on IR. Randall Cobb's probably not going to play in this football game. Are they going to rush Brian Bulaga back, or does he want to come back? Or is the agent even going to let Brian Bulaga come back and play right tackle, knowing that he's going to be a free agent in the offseason? Spriggs got hurt in that last football game, I think, with a concussion. Kenny Clark down now on IR. Like, who's showing up on the defense here? The Jets have been game. The Jets played very well last week versus the Houston Texans and almost came up with a victory. And Aaron Rodgers again, which I don't know how much to believe with Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Is he hurt? Is he not hurt? How hurt is he? Seems like Aaron Rodgers has like a gunshot wound to his leg every week and miraculously wants the commentators to just, tug his chain. Oh, man, what a gamer. What a gamer Rodgers is. Hurt again. What is it? Knee, groin, shoulder, head, arm, foot. Come on, Aaron. Clavicle. Donnie, who's your best bet this weekend? Mine is the Cowboys. No, the Cowboys are not. I like the spot that the Cowboys are in. Don't get me wrong. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But I think they win the football game. But, when you're the hunted as opposed to the hunter now, you weren't supposed to win that game in Indianapolis last week. We all knew it. And I talked about it on a couple shows already, the Audible and earlier in the week, WCKG show. I thought it was hilarious that the Cowboys came into that Indianapolis game thinking they were going to win. Sometimes you throw it on the table first half. Let's see if we can get up at the half. Let's see if we have a 10-7 lead, and then we'll play it by ear. But they got bounced. After the 4th and goal that they didn't get, they got bounced after that. And they continuously fed Zeke Elliott, which was the stupidest move I've seen. This guy is going to get run into the ground and be not effective before the playoffs. If you are a fan of the Cowboys, I guess you do it again. And if you're going to bet the Cowboys, what you want again is Zeke Elliott with 40 touches this weekend, because you're hoping you beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then you can rest the entire team the following week 17, and then head off into the playoffs with a home game. That's what you're hoping for. But you reached into the cookie jar last week with the Indianapolis Colts and let Zeke out there take shot after shot after shot, and now you're going to come back and do it again. And if you don't beat this football team, how much is left in the tank for the New York Giants? You got to go on the road. It's going to be cold weather. Maybe the Giants rise up one last time and say, you know what? We're not going to play Odell Beckham this week. We're not going to play Sterling Shepard this week. He's banged up. We're not going to play Russell Shepard this week. He's banged up. But then the Dallas Cowboys, you can knock your division rival out. Maybe they rise up. Maybe Eli still plays. Maybe he wants to play. So there's a lot of interesting stuff heading down the stretch here, and we're going to talk NFL and stuff like that. Alex, I go with Baker in Cincinnati. Let's see what we got here. Donnie, Packers, the right side. I don't know, man. I don't know. If I'm looking right now, it looks a little bit easy. And the line movement that I didn't understand whatsoever when we were talking about that game either. Because Aaron Rodgers was never deemed out of that football game. And the line was a pick'em. So Rodgers says I'm playing, and it goes to -3. That didn't make any sense to me. So I think if you're looking at that now, the value would be on the New York Jets. I would like if Quincy Enunwa played in that football game. I think that would help them out a little bit. Robbie Anderson should eat all over that Green Bay defense. He really should. And who's playing up front on the offensive side of the football to protect Aaron Rodgers, who supposedly has a groin injury? Tremaine Johnson's a really good cornerback. Is he going to be able to stop Devontae Adams? No, but he can slow him down. They got a pretty good secondary. And what the hell has Green Bay done on the road all season long? Absolutely nothing. So, I mean, that's what leads me to believe with the Green Bay Packers in that respect. It looks because you're still betting saying it's Aaron Rodgers, it's versus Sam Darnold. I understand that. But you have to look at what's going on here. The Jets should be able to put up a fight in this football game. And what fight does Green Bay have? Because Joe Philbin's trying to be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. If they have a good finish for the season, what? What are you talking about? Aaron Rodgers talking about now he wants to be a leader and he's got to be out there for his guys. Or is it he wants to try to put up some statistics before the season's done? I know if my franchise quarterback in a situation that didn't mean anything, he wouldn't be playing in this football game. But Aaron Rodgers rules the roost up there. You don't want to ruffle his feathers. Don't ruffle Aaron's feathers. He might say he wants to be traded, and then we're done in Green Bay. So there's a lot of stuff there. Paul Blake said, I'm all over the Rams Sunday, even at 13. Yeah, no. It's 14s now across the board, which is actually surprising there to me, Paul. I thought that game would probably be one of those where the Rams haven't covered 14, all season. Outside of the 49ers game. I think they had a rough shot runaway. But you're talking about an all-time historically bad Arizona team, which was the same premise last week that we talked the Atlanta Falcons as well. When you said Atlanta minus 10? Are you out of your mind with Atlanta minus 10? No. Because Arizona can't score 10 points. If you're looking at an offense, you say, man, that offense averages 28.5 points a game, and you're going to give them 14? You say, whoa, that doesn't make too much sense. But when your offensive team averages 13 points a game, a team laying double digits makes a lot more sense when you think about it. So the Cardinals get to 13 points this week. You don't think the Rams are getting into the 30s? Now, the one interesting caveat with this football game that you do want to watch here, honestly, you have to watch to see what Todd Gurley's going to do. Because if Todd Gurley plays and is healthy in this football game, they'll name their tune. They'll name it. You want 21? You want 28? You want 35? You want 42? The Rams will name their tune if Todd Gurley is healthy in this football game, and they'll run it up. I already have it. I'm saying that if the Rams come in somewhat healthy in this football game, which just means Todd Gurley, I don't see how the Arizona Cardinals hang around the football game. I don't. Because if you're still going to run Josh Rosen out there with absolutely no weapons, and you have a nice pass rush, which the Rams will have against that depleted offensive line, legitimately ask yourself a question. What are we getting out of the Arizona Cardinals this weekend? If they hit 16 points, the Rams will be in the 30s, so you're going to get that cover. That's the way I look at it. And maybe you take a shot at the first half, because if we're taking a look right now, let me just take some quick odds here. Let's look at the first half in that game. Arizona, 9.5. You don't think they're going to be up double digits? You don't think the Rams take the football first, go right down the field, go up 7-0, and then just have to beat the Arizona Cardinals by a field goal the rest of the half? Man, they can score 30 without Gurley this week. I agree, Joey Kerr. I agree. Giorgio, I agree too. Minus 14 with a total of 40. That tells you, that's exactly what I'm saying. What's an offensive explosion for the Arizona Cardinals this weekend? 16? 17? Let's just say they explode and get 17 points. Rams are in the 30s, man. The Rams are in the 30s. And a lot of times you'll hear me say, I'm not into taking double digits in the NFL, where there are outside caveats, where one team is absolutely dead on arrival. Now, you know where else you're going to get value today, folks? You know where you're going to get value today also. Look at the news that just came out through the wire, which we talked about a few moments ago, right? Look at the news. Josh Gordon is out. The line's 13. Now it's going to revert because Josh Gordon is out. We're going to drop this line from, let's just see what we have some numbers up here. Sportsbook.ag. It was 13 yesterday. Now it's dropped to 12.5. Pinnacle was 13s, minus 114 in that range. And now you're looking at plus 106. So theoretically, that line is 12.5. You're telling me your betting philosophy, folks, has changed because Josh Gordon is not going to play in this football game for the Patriots? Come on, man. Gosh, insignificant, man. Insignificant. Look at the game, man. Buffalo and the rookie quarterback, who I really like. I'm impressed by Josh Allen this year. He has nothing to work with. And he looks like a way better athlete than I ever thought he would be in the NFL. He's used to playing in cold weather. He has a rocket for an arm. If it's not there, he says, I'll take off and make it there myself. But you're rolling into a Patriots team that stone cold washes people at home. So if you're Buffalo Bills and you're going to run Shady McCoy out there, okay, let's just say Shady starts for the Buffalo Bills. We'll be out of there by the first quarter. Hamstring injury. What is he? Why would you even play Shady McCoy this week? Maybe I could see the argument saying, look, we just got to protect our quarterback. Like Shady will know the blitz pickups, and maybe he's on one leg, but at least our quarterback won't die in this football game. Wide receivers are banged up. If Shady doesn't play, like is Chris Ivory going to run Chris Ivory out there with a bad shoulder for no apparent reason? Marcus Murphy, he's out. What's he got? The torn up elbow? Down to no running backs last week. You're running with just a fullback. That looks like this screams to me, folks. Screams to me, even though I know the Buffalo Bills have a really good defense. Somewhere around 28 to 31 to like 10. Screams. And I think you're now going to dip in and also get some value out there too. Rams game, the Rams destroyed them. Yeah, they already beat them up this season. They're bad football. Arizona's historically bad. And I know some people will say, but man, look, there's something wrong with the Rams out there. Yeah, there's something wrong with the New Orleans Saints. It's called a long season where ebbs and flows. You can't just dot that I and cross that T every single week on offense. Tough one. But I just think the Rams will get right against an inferior opponent in this one when you've already been smoked twice. You know, you went to Chicago. You didn't look good and you lost. You came home what you thought would have been a get-right game versus the Eagles. You lost. You still had 400 yards of offense, though. So maybe you head into this football game with a little bit more mojo, but knowing the other team is the head coach is basically fired. They don't even know who they're going to start at quarterback. Do they want to let the rookie run out there and just take damage again? Which I hope they do, because that'll help out the Rams covering that point spread. Well, Big says, I think Atlanta looks good as well. Look, I actually thought Atlanta looked even better getting 2.5 and facing Cam Newton. But you got to be an opportunist in the NFL. Heineke starts in this football game, and now they're getting 3.5. 4. There was a 4 on the board, which disappeared this morning. So I think there's value on the Carolina Panthers, a sensational home football team. You could almost argue as well with Cam Newton and the way he was injured. If Cam Newton didn't play the last 6 weeks, how about this, folks? If Cam Newton snapped his leg 6 weeks ago and was on IR, the Carolina Panthers are in the playoffs right now. That's how bad Cam Newton was for the past 6 weeks. They win at least 2 of those football games that you saw over the past 6 weeks that they lost. At least 2. They're in the playoffs. That's how bad it is. Cam Newton was disinterested. Cam Newton, I don't know if both his legs are injured. I don't know if both his arms are injured. I don't know what the case is. But the Carolina Panthers are a better football team right now than what they were the last 6 weeks because Cam Newton is not going to suit up. How crazy is that? If you have a quarterback that can't throw the ball 20 yards, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. You will get beat routinely every week. If I told you this week coming up with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints going up against the Steelers, if I said, hey, you know what? Drew Brees, hey guys on defense, Drew Brees can't throw the ball 20 yards. They'll get stomped right off the football field. Just the way it is. So Cam Newton not playing and you're getting an extra 5 or 6 points, you got to shift to Carolina here and try to take a look to see how you can work that one in. Maybe Julio Jones doesn't suit up. Matt Ryan on the road, that team on the road. How about if they just rely on the running game for Carolina and say, Christian McCaffrey, get off, man. Christian McCaffrey can run wild versus this team on defense. So something to look out for. I know it's hard. It's hard to take Taylor Heineke and say, look, man, jumping in the bed with a team that's out of the playoffs. They're going to start this young quarterback. I hear you on that. I hear you. But it's about value in the NFL. It's about a team. Is Cam Newton worth 6 points? He stinks. Cam Newton stinks. Maybe not last year or the year before when he was healthier, or the year before that when he's an MVP. But right now, Cam Newton stinks. So if you remove a stink quarterback with a kid that might be able to run the offense and throw some deep balls time to time, might be a better option for the Carolina Panthers here. So, you remember when I thought Cam was going to be dominant for 10 years? But he should have been dominant for 10 years, man. He should have been. Should have been. Unbelievable talent. Unbelievable talent. But he's one of the few quarterbacks or players that I've ever seen in my life that completely checks out of games. Like, we used to rip McNabb here in Philadelphia, but he never checked out of football games. McNabb threw worm burners left and right in the NFL. He never checked out a game. I've never seen a guy like that. When the going is good, Cam Newton is sensational. But the minute that adversity kicks in and he puts the towel over his head instead of around his neck, that's like the switch. A lot of you probably too young to remember Over the Top, the movie, Sylvester Stallone, where he's an arm wrestler. His move was the hat was on frontwards, and then when he got angry and ready to kick it in, he flipped the switch. He put the hat on backward. When you watch Cam Newton on the sideline, bad poker player. Over his head towel, checked out Cam. Around his neck, tucked into his shoulder pads, you're about to get your brains beat in by Cam Newton. But we'll see. So Cam going to IR, good news for the Carolina Panthers for the rest of the way. They'll be able to run an offense. Maybe Norv Turner can dial up some stuff as opposed to saying it's either going to be screen pass or nothing. And we'll see what happens there. So we'll see what takes place. We'll start on some morning headlines. Just wanted to get through that. I love the NFL. You know, guys, I love the NFL. So I could talk for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. Yeah, Jay Cutler stinks too. Jay Cutler's an idiot too. He does. You're right about that. Jay Cutler would rather have a beer and a cigarette on the sideline sometimes, and rather than get out there. So yeah, he's the same thing. Cam and Jay Cutler have a lot of similarities together. Super, super talent. Big rocket arms, but sometimes rock heads as well. So Machado tour, right? Goes to New York City. What are we doing here? What are we doing with Manny Machado? He has to go visit cities. He was on the Upper East Side yesterday eating Italian with the Yankees. Oh, come on, make your decision up, guys. But then again, maybe if I was in that spot as well, I would like it because it's fun when people fight over you. Oh, this team wants you. Oh, this team wants you. Let's go meet with this team. Let's go meet with that team. Let's go meet with this team over here. He's going to get $300 million, I'm going to assume, from somebody out there. Yankees, Phillies, Dodgers. But it seems to me in the Machado sweepstakes here, doesn't it seem to be it's going to be either Yankees or Phillies at this point? I don't really think he stays in L.A. with Seager coming back, but that's just the way it seems. But can the hot stove just be done with? Can we find out who can one of these beat writers actually do their job and find out exactly where we're going here and get these guys out of the way? I mean, come on, man. Ridiculous. Darius Leonard, we bring this one up here. Pro Bowl, not what it used to be. Pro Bowl should be done away with in the NFL. It's the single worst exhibitional embarrassment in professional sport of any sport out there in the world, in the history of the world. There should not be a Pro Bowl. Have the Pro Bowl where they vote on who's going to be in the Pro Bowl, and then don't have the Pro Bowl. It's not even fun. Like when I was a kid growing up, it was fun. They actually played real. Imagine this, guys. I mean, some people in the chat box that said, you know what? Pro Bowl's always stunk. No, the Pro Bowl didn't always stink. They actually played football for a long time in the Pro Bowl and took pride in the Pro Bowl. But now it's a mockery of the game and it should go away. But Darius Leonard, unbelievable talent. Triple-digit tackles, 7 sacks, and he doesn't make the Pro Bowl. And I always like this too. He's like, you never really make the Pro Bowl this year. You make it the next year after your good year because it's about respect. Yeah, respect this. The kid is a dominant football player out there and deserves to go to the Pro Bowl. And he is not going to said Pro Bowl. Same thing with Jason Kelsey in Philadelphia, the center. He's not going to the Pro Bowl. I mean, what are we talking about out here? 7 Don, you're a bit hard on Cam. Who is he throwing to? He's got a lot of weapons out there. Cam has one of the most talented cores out there. First round, second round draft picks all over the place for Carolina. He's an enormous guy that can run the football. Enormous. A rocket arm when he's healthy. What's he got? McCaffrey's a first-round pick. DJ Moore, first-round pick. Funch's second-round pick. Who's the other wide receiver out there? Another wide receiver's out there, second-round pick. He's got a lot of weapons. Ton of weapons. But if you don't feel like running the football and you don't feel like throwing the football over 20 yards, you're not going to make it. I don't care who you are. If I took Aaron Rodgers, chopped off one of his legs and chopped off one of his arms, he ain't going to play well either. But there is a ton of weapons for the Carolina Panthers. A ton of weapons out there for him. Money bonuses are on the line with the Pro Bowl, too. Yeah, no, Scott, you're right about that. That's why they care about it. It's really a success thing. Like, did I make the Pro Bowl? Can I use this in my next negotiation? This guy's a Pro Bowl right guard. He deserves more money. I mean, I hear it from the people. Josh Gordon quit before they caught up to him. I don't know. I don't know if he quit because I'm seeing this one went live right before we went on the air, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff popping in here that says like he was going to be suspended. So he's just like, I'm out of here. Like, what's this? Like, honestly, is this suspension now like 6 years? Like, what do you get now? He's already been suspended like years at a time. Does this suspension mean 2 years? I don't even know. But it doesn't make any difference though whatsoever for the New England Patriots. It doesn't affect them at all. Big man, you here? You up?
Yo, what's up?
There he is. Look at that. Philly versus everybody, man. Would the alarm clock not go off?
That's exactly what happened. 100%. Honestly, I set it every morning for 9:15. I'm laying in my bed and I'm thinking, I feel like I've been laying here too long. Like, what's going on? Look at my phone. I see it's 10:20.
That's all right, Master Jeff. I stalled as long as I could for those morning headlines that you picked out fresh. I was telling the people, I'm like, look, these are the big man's headlines. Let me steal some time until we get in here, man.
No, it was totally my fault. Doesn't happen much, but hey, none of us can say it's never happened to us, right? Who hasn't had that happen?
Oh no, we've all rolled out of bed. It's like the worst shock, even though it's not really that big a deal. When you roll over, you had to be up at 8 o'clock, and it's like 8:19, and you just like boom, your life just explodes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no. I mean, it. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh yeah. Well, something. No, that was true. I had Sophia. Everybody hit me up. Big man, where you at? Hey, big man. So there you go. So did you go over any of the headlines?
No. I just started meandering. Okay. I went over Manny Machado, Jeff. We talked like 20 minutes of NFL, hit Manny Machado, and then I told the people, I was like, look, we got college basketball in here. I don't even know these games, so I hope Big Man gets in here. We got the Rockets. I don't even know what Jeff's talking about. We can make some up. So I stalled for a good long time, Jeff, so we can get after these.
Okay, the headline. So let's go to those. Darius Leonard. Darius
Leonard. I talked a
little
little Darius Leonard. Yeah.
How did he not get into the Pro Bowl? What a joke. He's killed it this year. He's had a great year.
Because nobody knows his name? Like, is that why he didn't make it? Forget about stats.
It's because he went to South.
I never heard of this.
Because he went to South Carolina State. That's what.
Colts, they never have a good defense. Meanwhile, the Colts actually have a decent defense this year, and he's the reason why, a big majority of it.
So now he says he's going to get 40 tackles this week. So if you have like a prop out there, maybe you want to get on that because he seems like the kind of guy that would,
Yes, and you figure too, if a linebacker where if you're not going to have Odell Beckham and maybe not have Sterling Shepard, they're probably going to run the ball a lot, so he might get a lot of looks, Jeff. Maybe 20 tackles, maybe not so bad, not so far off here.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's the one you have to do. You have to.
By the way, Jeff, on the headlines here with Darius Leonard, I know we're going to go through these quick since we don't have much time, but Josh Gordon broke the story right before we got on the air that he's going to be suspended again. He's leaving the Patriots. So I got a good laugh at it because the Patriots statement is this. You'll like this one. Ready? We support Josh Gordon in his continued efforts to focus on his health. His attempt to do so is a private and personal matter, which we intend to respect. No.
I hate to do this because if anyone is supportive of an addict, it's me. But did I tell you I told you so? Seriously? I remember talking about this with you and saying, this guy's never going to he's not cut out to play football. And I remember people were in here, give him a chance. It's just
the Patriots will work it out.
He has to come to peace with himself.
Jeff, he had his locker right next to Tom Brady. It's right next to Tom Brady. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, well, it did. So he needs to get himself helped out before he helps other people out. So
and these NFL teams, I hope they don't care. They don't
wish him the best. You hope he gets himself helped out and he does some things for himself because that's a sad story. The Rockets last night, they just shot the lights out. I think they had 26 threes. I was really wanted to get out with them. Hot shooting. They rolled last night, got the job done. Nice night for them. But the real story, Donnie, for me was the Kings, Sacramento Kings, and their stupid coach, Dave Jorger. Now, Donnie, basically, I don't know if you know this, but the Kings are playing really well. They're doing a nice job. They're like, I want to say they're 17-14 or something. They're doing well. They're playing good. But their coach, Donnie, comes out and starts talking about other players and how he's almost kind of hinting at he wanted Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck is he doing that? De'Aaron Fox is playing well. All your young players are doing a nice job. What the hell are you doing with that? Why are you doing that? I mean, he's just saying, well, we need to go and talk about other players. No, you don't need to go talk about other players. That's a stupid move by him. Your team's playing well. They're actually winning for once. And you want to go out and talk about how you kind of want other players. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been amazed by the Sacramento Kings as an organization, or why there's even a team in Sacramento to begin with. But that's another story.
Yeah, it's very weird. Very weird. I don't know why he did that or why he did it. Mental health is a major issue. I'm not saying it's not. That's if you listen to what I said, which I don't think you did, I basically said he's an addict and needs help. He's a drug addict. You know,
and
and
nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about him either. None. Nobody. All these good wishes. You know, it's like when you have like a major shooting in like a high school, and everybody goes, "Oh, send prayers." That's what they do to Josh Gordon, and you know what they do behind the scenes? Like, if we can just stand him up straight and get him out on the field so he can make money, we can all steal his money because this is what it needs. I can go blue in the face yelling at the Cleveland Browns for all the times that they said that they care about this kid, and I kept saying, if you care about him, pay him all his money, shut him down, and don't ever let him play football again, and use this as we never let go. Can you imagine if Cleveland said, we're going to hold your right shot. I'm going to give you a 5-year contract at the veteran minimum, like $1 million a year. And I'm going to shut you down every single year. You're going to get paid. You're going to get the best health insurance possible. You're going to get right. And we're going to tell you as a family organization, this is how we take care of our players. They're down in the dumps. They need help. We're going to pay this man. We're going to make sure he's healthy. And we're also going to make sure he never plays football again so he focuses on his mental health. They don't give a shit about Josh Gordon. All they care about, like I did a little moniker, Jeff, where I'm saying, like, you know, they put out the nice statement. We really care about Josh. And then behind the scenes, ripping his fucking agent to make sure he gets into camp ASAP so he can play football. It's all so fucking two-faced, man. It's amazing. If you really cared about Josh Gordon, pay him all his money and IR him and never let him play football again, but make sure he has a paycheck so his family can live, he can live, and he can get right. But nobody will do that. They'll just put on that happy face like, we really stand with Josh Gordon. Shut up, liars.
No, well said. I don't disagree with anything you said. This Penn State Duquesne ending. Did you see this, Donnie?
Oh, I didn't see it, Jeff, but I caught up on the tweets.
This is
the screenshots, and I'm just saying
this
to
is
myself,
a real shame.
My oh my.
This was a real shame. I ended up seeing this. We were actually on live when this happened, and Blackjack Fletcher actually had Penn State, and he lucked out with a cover. But look, this is pathetic by this referee. First of all, the call was not correct. Second of all, you threw him out with 5 seconds left. What?
Yeah, now break down the play, because that's always 5 seconds to go, and I assume there was a foul call that somebody did. I didn't watch the game. I didn't read anything about it. But I'm assuming there was a foul and somebody went off.
It was a block charge call, but before the block charge call, the guy that initiated the charge, like, pushed off as he was running into the lane, and that was a foul. They didn't call it. Then they ended up, the Duquesne player got called for the block, and he went nuts. He had a meltdown. He went crazy. But he was in the right. I mean, it was a brutal call, and you let him get his words in, and then you go and you let them shoot the foul shots.
Yeah,
I didn't have anything
as a referee, you have to have discretion. That in a play like that, like let's just say like somebody saw it a little bit different. As long as he's not at like mid-court and talking about your mom, you have to give them their space there and calm it down, because it's the right move to do in a heated environment. But I just love how they don't understand that you're trying to disrespect me right now. Like, no, you idiot. You know what I mean? It's just some people just don't see it that way, I guess. Like, I'm in control here. Technical.
Yeah, really, really, really pathetic behavior by the referee here. I mean, you can't tee him up. You just can't do it unless he comes up and smacks you in the face or
yeah, exactly. Confronts you like, we're going to shoot the free throws, and he comes out and takes the basketball from the kid at the free throw line. I agree.
Yeah, and then the kid goes and just knocks all of them down. Like, I've never seen that. Like, it just amazing. But and the game went over as well. That's sick. What a sick game. Tough beat.
Yeah,
I
6 for
wasn't
6.
on
You
it, but
couldn't get that if you needed that. If that was me, he goes like 4 or 6. Or he goes 5 of
it,
5 and then bricks the 6.
you hate to see that, as they say. That's a rough
Yikes.
fucking beat, man. Keith Dambrot, though, is a bit of a psychopath, though. He's had his crazy
He's had his
points.
issues over the years, Jeff. Yeah, he has some weird motivating words back in the day, which he was a rising star and would have been way higher already in his career.
He coached LeBron James.
Yeah, if he left out choice words back in the day. So.
Yeah, when LeBron was in high school, Dambrot coached him. But yeah, tough beat if you had Duquesne last night, or Duquesne, as some might say. Tough
sure.
one. All right, Donnie, I'll let you get back to what you were doing. Where were you at with this here?
Yeah, no, real quick on their Bama rules again. Just the rich get richer. Drop off a couple, bags of cash and some cars, and stay number one every year in your recruiting, and nothing is going to change. As long as Nick Saban is in control at Alabama, they'll just get every single recruit they want, and they'll just peel back skulls every year. So it's fun to watch, I guess, in a way, to watch a dynasty in progress. Maybe if I was like an SEC fan, I would get angry because I would never have a shot at winning anything. But it'll be interesting to see who that next dynasty is going to be once Nick Saban decides to A, go to the NFL, or B, just hang it up. But looks like Alabama for the foreseeable future is just going to, as I said, peel back skulls for the next 5-10 years. So we'll see.
By the way, Red Chat, I wanted to pick a bone with you. Not really anything with you, but really with your team. I see Miami, 42nd recruiting class. What the hell happened with them? What is going on with Miami?
When Manny left. Yeah, lost a lot with Miami when Manny Diaz left. Lost a couple guys there. But look, it is what it is. Miami had their run in the 80s. And the NCAA couldn't deal with it, which I'm surprised they let Alabama get away with it. But usually, like, when teams get real, like, pompous and on top, they'll just, investigate you until they absolutely find something deadly for you. Then Miami had their resurgence, in the late 1990s with Butch Davis. Ended up winning a national championship under Coker. Then they got their claws in again and started digging and found some stuff, which they haven't done yet with Alabama. But it's the new age. It's hard to get into Miami. Their standards are higher than most schools now. They don't pay a lot of money for coaches. That's just the way. That doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean? It used to be you come to Miami because you want to challenge yourself against the best, players in the world, and our, facilities aren't as good, but it doesn't matter because we're Miami and you're going to line up and it's grimy and this is how we get down. But that doesn't work anymore. I mean, they do have a nice practice facility, one of the better ones in the country now, but you don't have the unlimited funds anymore, and they're all gone. And Miami's apparently doesn't have great bag men that you can just drop money off. It all started with, I remember with Patrick Peterson was from the Miami area, signed, sealed, delivered to Miami, and LSU showed up with a ton of money. He went to LSU, and it's been that way ever since.
Shout out to Nebraska, 18th. They beat out Stanford, Ohio State, USC, and Wisconsin. Nice work by Scott Frost, Donnie.
No, it is nice work by. I mean, he's going to get it going. I mean, the guy knows how to build a program. He's going to get it going there.
Yeah, that's a nice work there. That bowl game last night was good, wasn't it? Shoo, great game.
Yeah, no, I just brought that up again. I didn't really have any vested interest in it anyway, but I turned the football game on and I watched, maybe about 3/4 of the first quarter. And I was like, I don't know if I'm watching grade school football or Division II or III on some random Saturday. Nobody in the stands, rain coming down, awful quarterback play on both sides. And I'm like, I'm done. But it wasn't even like I didn't expect it. I knew that game was going to suck, and it did. And that's what every single bowl game seems like has done so far.
Yeah, hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You want to get to college basketball, Donnie?
Yeah, slip it down, man. What do you got?
You tell me. You got the list. I sent you the games. I forget what I got. I like to be surprised.
Here. Duke, Texas Tech tonight, Jeff. Duke, Texas Tech. What do we got?
Yeah, you got a great game here. I mean, this could be the game of the year. I mean, other than those Maui games, one of those, the Gonzaga, Duke, or whatever. But I mean, this might be the game of the year. You have
line move, Jeff.
Yeah. You have Duke, who very fast. They're the not best if not second best offense in the country. You look at the high flyers. I mean, I think the three freshmen, Donnie, are averaging, I think, on per game, I think their field goal percentage is like 70%. I mean, it's just sick right now what they're doing. You look at defensively, doing a great job as well. Surprisingly, Duke is 5th in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency. But I look at Duke and I wonder, are they a bit
Where's
bored
this game?
right
Oh, it's
now?
MSG, right? MSG, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duke has played, they've won 5 in a row after the Gonzaga loss, but the wins are against, Indiana, Stetson, Hartford, Yale, Princeton. So, 4 of those 5 games are against, 100, bottom 100 teams in the country, or 150 teams in the country. You got Texas Tech, who, Donnie, they might be the best defense in the country. I know Virginia is ranked, and people love Virginia, but this Texas Tech, from a numbers perspective, is the best defense in the country. Number 1 in adjusted efficiency, number 1 in field goal percentage defense, number 1 in 2-point percentage. I mean, number 3 in 3. I mean, they're just a sick defense. But here's my knock with Texas Tech. And I don't like to do this, but you look at this schedule, Donnie. Outside of Nebraska, what the hell do you have here? You have a lot of SWAC teams, and you have a lot of shit teams. Incarnate Word, Northern Colorado, Northwestern State. I mean, you played USC. They're really poor this year. Memphis, whatever. Middling AAC team. I mean, Chris Beard's team has a problem with starting slow. If they start slow in this game, they'll get fucking boat raced here. I'm asking you, Donnie, from a line perspective, what's the line telling you?
Duke is going to absolutely kick the shit out of Texas Tech.
That's kind of where I'm going with it. I want to take Texas Tech. I do, because I said last night on our show, if you're getting 9.5, something like that, I think you got to lean Texas Tech. But I'm starting to look at this game, and I'm starting to say to myself, maybe Duke really is this good. Maybe they're the team that just goes into MSG and kicks the shit out of Texas Tech.
They've been there already this year, right? Have they already been to MSG, Duke?
I don't believe so.
Seems like they play there like 6 times a year for some reason.
They haven't been there yet. They were at their home stadium and then Maui. That's it, I believe. Actually, you know what? I think they play Kentucky there. Actually,
no, they play Kentucky. It looks like at Bankers Fieldhouse in Indianapolis.
Did they? Could have sworn that was it. Because I remember Joel Embiid went to the game, Donnie. Because I remember I was at the Temple game and I saw Embiid. Maybe he did. I could have sworn that was an MSG, but maybe they haven't. But you would think on the surface this is a great game, but I wonder about Texas Tech's validity. I really do. 3,000 tickets on this game. 65% are on Duke. Line's moving the right way, Donnie, which is good. You're really just fading Duke on a contrarian state, basically. You're basically just saying, all right, I'm going to just bet against them.
Maybe they don't shoot well, and who knows? Yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're an impressive team. They really are. But let's see if Texas Tech can wake up. They have some bigs that can really run and play with Duke. This isn't going to be like another game where Duke's just towering over everybody. They have a kid named Tariq Owens. Donnie played at St. John's, 6'10". He could probably give you something on the block against some of these big boys. I think it'll be a great game. But I don't really look or want to step in front of Duke. I don't. How many people are going to say, wow,
it's interesting.
Look at Tech's defense.
10-0.
10 points. Yeah. That's my concern here.
Looking at just some things coming across the wire here. Shaq Thompson goes on IR for the Carolina Panthers. So maybe they're just checking out on the season. Second game here, Jeff. Let's take a look. What do we got? Utah State versus Houston. Yeah. Not many tickets on the game, but everybody piling in on Houston, Jeff, so far. And look at that, man. Everybody piling in on Houston, and the line is dropping like a rock. What I like to see.
Yeah, I would be on Utah State here. I would have put this number at around 4 or 5. Utah State is good, and they're a really solid team. Well coached under Craig Smith. He was at South Dakota for many years. Comes over and he's done a nice job so far. Only losses to Brigham Young and to Arizona State for the Aggies. Really good on offense. really good on defense. I mean, one of the better defenses you're going to find. Do a nice job at rebounding the basketball. They don't allow second chance opportunities, Donnie, which is good. You look at statistically, they're number one in the country at limiting offensive rebounds. So by defensive rebounding, that's the key to limiting easy opportunities. It's one of the most underrated stats you're going to get in basketball. Donnie, it's true that when you offensive rebound, you ever notice that when a team offensive rebounds, they likely score? You ever notice that? They always get that kick out three, and it's like, fuck, man. If you would have just rebounded that ball, we wouldn't have had that. There's nothing more irritating than offensive rebounds. They do a great job at limiting those offensive rebounds, which is great. Houston, new stadium for them this year, down at the Fertitta Center down in Houston. Nice new digs there. Should be a great game. These are two good teams. Houston, a team that I think is always right on the outside in the AAC. Could even win it this year. Corey Davis, terrific player. Dejan Giroux, Armani Brooks. Giroux is actually a transfer they brought over from UMass. He's done a really good job for them. Galen Robinson as well. No Rob Gray on this team, so no go-to scorer that could score in buckets. But this should be a fantastic game. Sam Merrill for Utah State should be able to keep them in this one. And look, if I'm getting 4.5 here, I'm looking towards Utah State. I think this game comes down to the wire. Two teams that are real similar. Two teams that are really going to get after it on defense. I just like that rebounding edge. That is something special where if you can limit second chance points, you're going to be right in the basketball game. I kind of like Utah State here, right side.
Yale Monmouth, Jeff, going to play at Monmouth. Interesting game here. Let's see if I even have this game lined on my board here. Let's take a look. Yes, we actually do, Jeff. 70% lining up on Yale. No surprise. Line opens up at 10.5, and we're at 9.5 now. Ooh, Jeff, sharps are checking in all over the board today, looks like.
They might be, but I'm not buying it on this one. This kind of looks like that Virginia, South Dakota State mold, Donnie. You got a good basketball team that has no problem on the road against a team that's not won a game this year. Monmouth is bad. We're far away from the days of that bench going nuts. And remember, they were on the TV every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yale, I've backed on the road. A lot of people point and say, why are you backing Yale on the road? Because they're built on the road. They went on the road and played Vermont, hung in that game. Went on the road to Memphis, went to 2 overtimes, hung in that game. They went and played Duke away. They have good wins against Cal, Miami, beat a pretty solid Albany team last week. Yale can score, Donnie, and they just can. They are really good offensively, 19th in field goal percentage. And you look at what Monmouth does. What does Monmouth actually do? They can't score. They can't defend. They go super slow. They're just a plotting bad offense that can't get back on D and can't do anything to defend. There's nothing Monmouth does well. This is one where I'm going to probably go against that move. We've seen a couple of these this week where there's line movement that doesn't make sense. This is definitely one of them. I just don't think that it constitutes a play because I don't really think Monmouth stays in the gym against Yale. Yale's the way they pressure, the way they go quick, it really just kind of, I think, bothers Monmouth here. I wouldn't be wanting to get in bed with. Look, if I was getting
even though they did play Princeton tough at home, though.
Yeah, that was one game, and I think for you, I think I want to say that was a game that somebody mentioned on our call-in show. But you look at for large parts of the season, they have been really poor. I think the one game they play well is against Princeton. Played pretty well against Hofstra, but those two teams are not as good as Yale to me. I think Yale will go ahead and take care of business. They're a solid road team that's done a nice job and faced some tough opponents. Should have them prepared for this. This is going to be a tough game for Monmouth because they're going to have to keep up with Yale. Yale goes at a blistering pace. And that's a surprising thing about the Ivy this year, Donnie. Yale is kind of going through a different page, through a different book. I mean, 56th in tempo. That's unheard of in the Ivy League, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
no, I agree with that too. We talked about being the Ivy League no longer your dad's 16 picking backdoor cuts and pick and rolls and no shot clock in 54 to 52 games. That seems like a thing of the past now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yep, I hear you, Naeem. I totally hear you on that one. Fordham, James Madison. Someone's asking about. I wanted to say someone brought that game up. Yeah, I think that's an interesting line. I don't know why JMU's getting 3.5 in that game. I don't know that Fordham should be that kind of number against anyone. Fordham will definitely be a team that people will wonder what the record is. I mean, Fordham doesn't really do anything great. I don't know. JMU's JMU. Probably comes down to the wire. Taking the points probably the way to go there. Low scoring game. Game's probably played in the mid to low 60s.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say with that. But there you go, Donnie. A couple of basketball games for you. We'll talk more about those on today's show on WCKG, which, Donnie, I might add, was very profitable last night if you followed the show. You gave out Cincinnati in the first half, minus the 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Donnie, I want to shout you out. It was funny. We were doing our show last night, which we got a nice reception. It was finally did it, and it was very live bet oriented. We had a good time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy came in the show, Donnie, and goes, there was literally 4 minutes into the game, and they were down 12-9 Cincinnati. And he goes, you know, I took Donnie's pick. This one is not looking good. And he's like, and he's like just kind of like subtly like talking about how the play isn't going to come in. And I just, I didn't go nuclear, but I was just like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's 3 or 4 minutes.
I think they're up almost close to 20 at the half.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, nice call there. I gave out Virginia. They came in. What else? I gave out Stony Brook as well. So 2-1, not bad. Not bad, Donnie. We'll try to see if we can grab one or two tonight. Yeah, we try to find a little hidden value on the card. So everyone have a great time. Thanks for watching. We always appreciate you all. I'll be back tomorrow on time. Happens. You take a mulligan once in a while. But Donnie, we got to go. I got to record the Football League show. Flash Watson is eagerly awaiting my arrival. So we're going to wrap it up. It's 11 o'clock anyway. Have a great day. We'll see you all at 3 o'clock. Make sure you join us. We'll talk some bowls. We'll get some NFL info from Donnie. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.